The Bible actually tells us that there's a war coming that's going to kill 2 billion human beings.
Define marriage.
I believe that marriage is the union between a man and a woman. But I do believe in civil unions.
Hamas has said clearly and publicly that they are not going to continue the truce, and the same day they attacked Israel.
When the confirmation of the covenant occurs, it marks the beginning of the final 7 years to Armageddon.
Today is Friday Open Lines. Give us a call right now, 1-877-ENDTIME.
Look, there are two things I don't discuss: politics and religion.
In my house, we don't talk about politics and we don't talk about religion.
I'll talk to you about anything except politics and religion.
I never talk about politics and religion.
Politics determines how we'll live here on earth. Religion determines how we'll live forever. I'm Irvin Baxter. I think it's time we talk about it.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Politics and Religion. My name is Jason Talley, and I'm the radio agent for Endtime Ministries here. And if you were listening to the program yesterday, then you know that Irvin is in Wisconsin at his grandson's wedding, and the connectivity there is very low. But before you change the channel, before you decide that you don't want to listen to me talk the whole time, we will have Irvin on the line shortly, so don't worry, you do not have to hear me the whole time. I will tell you that today, of course, every Friday is Open Line, and I'm watching right now as the lines are starting to fill up, and Irvin will be on the line here in just a moment. We definitely want to take your calls today, answer your questions, and we'll be getting to that here in just a few moments. Today is a pretty big day if you consider tomorrow. We've heard a lot about the 21st of May. What's going to happen with all of that? I'm sure that'll be discussed today. If you have questions about that, call in. We'll talk about it. Of course, yesterday, President Obama's speech was a pretty big deal and had some possible prophetic fulfillments in that. And if you want to talk about that today, definitely give us a call. The number, of course, is 877-ENDTIME. That's 877-363-8463. While we're waiting on Irvin to get connected with us here, I always like to take a little bit of time here to tell you about some upcoming conferences so that you can know for sure when and if we're coming to your area, because you never really want to miss one of these prophecy conferences. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to attend one before, but they're just marvelous. Every single one that I've ever had the opportunity to go to has been a wonderful experience. It's a learning experience for you, and it really kind of shows you exactly where we are in Bible prophecy, exactly where we're standing, and kind of brings it all down to where the rubber meets the road. So I do want to give a couple of conferences here so that you can know if we're coming to your area. The first one I want to mention to you, and it's the next one that we actually have on our schedule, is the 4th of next month, the 4th of June. That's going to be right here in the Dallas Metroplex area, and that's in Mesquite, actually. So if you live in Mesquite, Garland, the surrounding area here, you definitely want to attend this conference. It's going to be held, I'll let you grab a pen or a pencil, whatever, give you some information here. It's going to be held at Emmanuel Pentecostal Church. The address there is 1200 Poplar Drive in Mesquite, Texas, 75149. That's Pastor Flowers' church. He's a great man, great church. They have a pretty big building there, so be able to hold plenty of people. So you definitely want to come out to that conference. That's actually going to be the 4th of this month at 6 p.m. So if you live in the Dallas area, you want to drive over to Mesquite, check out that conference, you definitely can do that. Let me tell you this real quick, and I think we've got Irvin connected. Let me tell you this. We are giving away a free DVD at that conference if you register. So just call 1-800-ENDTIME or go to endtime.com to register for that conference. So if you have more information about conferences, you can definitely call us at 1-800-ENDTIME. Irvin, are you on the line?
Hey, I'm here, JT, and thank you for standing in there for a couple of minutes.
Yes, sir.
While we were racing to get back here to our headquarters here in Wisconsin. So thank you very much. It's been an interesting week here at Politics and Religion. We talked on Monday about Nakba Day, and a lot of people may not know what that is, but the Palestinians certainly know what it is, Arabs everywhere, because May the 15th, which was Sunday, is the day that the war began over Israeli independence. Of course, the Israelis were rejoicing on Saturday, May the 14th. That's actually the day they declared independence. So it's been Jerusalem Day, it's been Independence Day in Israel. They always have partying. It's a big, big deal in Jerusalem. Everybody's got Israeli flags hanging out the windows, but yet the Palestinians, they have now taken to reversing that, and they call it Nakba Day, which means catastrophe day, the day of the catastrophe. So while the Israelis rejoice, the Palestinians mourn, and that's really significant because this week, all week long, the attention of the world has been centered on Israel. Netanyahu is in the United States of America right now. President Obama on Thursday made his long-anticipated speech about the Middle East and what's going on there right now. He said some things that Mr. Netanyahu really regretted, and they discussed those things as they met together this morning at the White House. Then they had a press conference, so the attention has been centered very much on the Middle East. Also this week, we talked 2 days about the Second Coming, and when I began to prepare, JT, for the program about the Second Coming, I was astounded when I started realizing how much actually is in the Bible about the Second Coming. So I found it incredibly interesting because the Bible's just absolutely full of it. It shows us how important the Second Coming is to the Lord himself. And all of these things that are happening in the Middle East are precursors of the Second Coming. One more thing we've got to talk about, obviously, is Mr. Camping says tomorrow will be Judgment Day, that's the day when the Lord's going to come back. The church will be raptured. He claims 2% will be raptured, and 98% will be left behind. Our phones have been ringing here at Politics and Religion, people wanting to know what is going on, is there any truth to any of this, and of course we've been telling them, no, there's no truth to it, it's not going to happen, don't worry about it, although we all need to be ready because the Lord could come back for any of us individually at any time. So anyway, that's something else we have to be totally aware of. Well, those are some of the things that have been happening, and JT, you're anchoring the program back there at the studio. I'm way back in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful back here. I'm looking at a lake, which I will not get to go on because my grandson will be married here tomorrow, and there's all kinds of things we're doing to prepare for that marvelous occasion. He's marrying a wonderful girl, so we're very excited about that. So that's the reason I'm broadcasting from up here in Green Lake, Wisconsin. It's just a little place, but it's absolutely beautiful. After the broadcast yesterday, I looked out the window, and there were 3 deer in the backyard, and I thought, well, I could stand a little bit of this for a while. Anyway, it's certainly great. So it is open line, however, so it's our caller's day today, and we do want to go to the phone. So, JT, I'm going to turn it over to you and take the lead.
Okay, Irvin, we're going to start today with Waylon, who's listening on the internet there right here in Texas. Has a question about World War III. Waylon, you're on Politics and Religion. Welcome.
Hello, Irving. Thank you for taking my call. I was at the Prophecy Conference in Houston last weekend.
Yes.
And I actually bought all 10 of the Level 1 videos, and I did want to say we've been really, really pleased with the quality. Even my kids, I've got a 12-year-old daughter, they've really been eating them up so far, so they're really well done.
Terrific.
My question is, on the first night of the Prophecy Conference in Houston, the topic was Islam and the war that would kill 1/3 of mankind. And you revealed that you believe that will start with the Muslim population, and in order to reach that high of a death toll of 2.3 billion people, that it was likely that, I think I understood you to say, most of the Muslim population, or maybe all of it, or a bunch of it at least, would be wiped out.
Yes.
So my question is, and maybe my confusion is this: at the time of the confirmation of the covenant, and even maybe at the time of the abomination of desolation, Israel will still have to be arguing with somebody over the status of Jerusalem and the status of the Temple Mount and things like that. And so if the Muslim population is largely decimated, and I thought you seemed to indicate that it would almost be removed from the world political picture in a great way. So if that population is so decimated through that war that kills 1/3 of mankind, how is the Muslim population still going to have the strength to be such a problem to Israel right there at the very end?
It's a real good question. I'll be honest with you, I have not considered from that angle. It's a really good angle to think about. We know that it's the Palestinians that contend with Israel over what's going on in the Middle East. Like you say, if the Islamic population would be totally wiped out, then would the Palestinians have the strength to continue to stand off with Israel, or would the sentiment from a lot of those people that have died actually add some strength to the Palestinian side? It's obvious the Palestinians are not going to be wiped out. They're still going to be a factor, and we don't know what percentage of the Islamic world is going to be wiped out. So I think that probably is going to color our thinking a little bit, because the Bible doesn't give us the details. It simply says there's going to be a war that starts from the Euphrates River, and that war will end up wiping out 1/3 of mankind. And since the Euphrates is totally under Islamic control, then there's going to be a good percentage of the Islamic people are going to be involved in that war. And since the United States is the chief protagonist in the Middle East right now, with 50,000 troops in Iraq, with 100,000 troops in Afghanistan, it's obvious we're going to be involved. But in order to come up with 1/3 of the world's population, which is 2.3 billion people right now, if you killed every person that's a member of Islam in the world, you would only have about 1.5 billion, and I in no way am advocating that. I mean, this whole thing hurts me. I'm not in any way glorying over anyone being killed, but it is going to happen because the prophecy says it's going to happen. So I can't tell you for sure that which percentage of the 2.3 billion Islam will make up, which percentage perhaps China will make up. I don't even have absolute proof that China will be involved. But you do have to get 2.3 billion people from somewhere, and the most likely place is China, India, and the Islamic faction. That's the most, and probably less India than China and Islam, because those are the two traditional enemies of the United States of America. Now, President Obama is attempting to build bridges to the Islamic world, and if anybody can do it, probably as an American president, he can, because his dad was Islamic. He attended an Islamic school for a while and was registered as a Muslim, and I'm not saying that means he's a Muslim. He was in the 4th grade, and his parents probably told him what his religion was. So, be that as it may, but nevertheless, he's grown up around Muslims all of his life. He has an Islamic father, and so he probably has an affinity to Islam like no American president ever has. So the possibility of making those bridges to the Islamic world, that's what he's trying to do right now, even in his speech yesterday. His speech in Cairo a year and a half ago, and now then his speech yesterday, he's trying to reach out to the Islamic world to try to defuse the conflict that he knows is there. So could it be that he will fail in this outreach, and then maybe he would be defeated in the next presidential election and a new president come? I don't know. All I know is what the Bible says is going to happen. But excellent point, excellent call. I appreciate you calling very much. Before we get to break, we'll have to let you go. We'll be right back to you. Politics and Religion.
Endtime Ministries presents End of the Age, a 30-minute commercial-free TV show hosted by Irvin Baxter. Every Monday, End of the Age airs on the Church Channel at 9 p.m., Daystar at 10 p.m., and on TBN every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., all Central Standard Time. On End of the Age, Irvin depicts how modern issues like an establishment of a one-world government, the religion of Islam, a coming World War III, and more line up so clearly with Bible prophecies written over 2,000 years ago. To get tomorrow's news today, be sure to tune into End of the Age every Monday on the Church Channel at 9 p.m., Daystar at 10 p.m., and on TBN every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., all Central Standard Time. Visit endtime.com for more details or call us at 1-800-ENDTIME. That's 1-800-363-8463.
The Bible prophesies about